coming to the Metal Institute. Tell me all about the Descendants of Crom. I'm so pumped up to attend.
So as you know, it's this weekend. So
Yeah.
it's been what are they, it's down to the wire, as they say. So we're going to be setting up tomorrow. Tomorrow, no, Thursday evening. My crew's going in to set up. Friday it starts. So um 7 p.m. our doors. It starts at 8 officially. And we have four bands to kick off Friday. Sundress, which is my band's band, Funerals without me. And then Blessed
Okay.
Black from Cincinnati, Fairy Ring from, I believe it's Evansville, Indiana. I might
I
have
know
that
they're
wrong.
Indiana. I
Indiana,
don't know this state.
nonetheless. And then we have Stinking Lizaveta, which is from Philly, and they were on the first Descendants Crom actually. And I think a lot of people came out to that first one to see them specifically, and I hope that happens again today, this weekend, so that they get that so my crowd gets that too, the crossover. That's the whole point of everything is mixing it up, mixing the genres up, and getting people in the scene to see what else is going on, regionally and locally, and sometimes some years internationally. So Saturday is more of a full day festival. It's from 2 p.m. on. And then we have Myers kicking it off. They were a band that was a band a while ago, and they just kind of resurfaced a year later, a year ago, should I say, came out with a new album,
And they're
Heavy Doom
local, right?
Sludge to start it off, a two-piece, a duo. Then we have Slow Wake from Cleveland area, The Long Hunt. If anybody knows me, I've booked The Long Hunt a lot, and there are no strangers to the Descendants of Crom. And then Star Viper they've been out for a few years now. Real fun party type band, very tight, kind of like it has like a fun 80s type of vibe, but very still relevant. Um, and then my band, Funerals. I don't love playing the festival myself. It seems to be a little bit of a, chaos or whatever, but my guys work hard to help me out, so I like to reward them too.
Oh,
And I think we're pretty good. Pretty new, but pretty good. And then Oost Coast, which was on last year. I try not to repeat bands too many times, but last year was an all Pittsburgh lineup. And of course, I wanted to, include some Pittsburgh in the mix this year to, bring out the people, but also, some of these bands all of these bands are my favorites, really. We have Axioma from Cleveland. They're just really heavy and good. I've only learned about them maybe 4 years ago or so. But they're just, I can't wait to the crowd to see them. They played Pittsburgh a few times already. I've actually not seen them in Pittsburgh. But that's going to be, I think, one of the highlights for something different here. Passover is playing. I was unaware of who Passover was, honestly, till this year. They played a show at the Shred Shed maybe like a few months ago. I'm not sure. And I saw them and I was like, this is terrific. Who are these guys? And they're like, oh, they're like an old school Pittsburgh band. So I looked into them, um, reached out to them and see if they wanted to play. I always try to have like a legacy band, and this would be them for this
are
year.
they like a
Um,
hardcore?
it's kind of hardcore, but it's like metal too. It's a crossover band, they were at the time of DIY, really, the not the DIY, but DRI,
Okay.
like that time where, it was like we were accepting each other in the genres and mixing things up, and a lot of the festivals started crossing over. And the sounds, just, that's what happens after a while, right? We accept each other. And then, the subgenres kind of blend, and, then you have like four subgenres to your title. That's why I said they have a hardcore style to them, but they're also pretty metal, and maybe even a little punk edge too,
Yeah.
And then we have Rebreather, which is one of my all-time favorite bands, not just because they're not like local, but they're from Youngstown. And I've had them on a few times, and I book them a lot, and I've played with them a lot. My last band, Whorehound, used to tour with them actually. Or, we had like a couple weekenders and stuff like that. Real good guys. And spotlights to end the whole thing off. It's gonna be probably done by like 11:30 on Saturday, and then Friday is gonna end a little early too. The crowd's a little bit more older. I hope there's a lot more young people coming. It's all ages. But we're just like it's a long take, so I try not to keep people too long. Some festivals go until there's no more time left. But I think it also gives you like a little buffer at the end where, the venue's still a little open, people are starting to close out, but you could talk to people and, talk to where it's quieter or whatever, there's just a little background music. So every year it's been great. It's a lot of work and I have a lot of help the days of, in the days leading up to it, and just really in that mood right now.
Sure. Well, the great news is like I started listening to a lot of these bands, and like you said, there's a lot of diversity there. So it seems that like anybody in the region or the local area, there's something for everyone, no matter if it's a hardcore band or just a rock band or some stoner or doom. It's all
Right.
over the map. So everybody should
Right.
really come and take this all in. There's so much.
I agree. I
Yeah,
absolutely agree. But of course, when you choose all of the bands, it's kind of like, of course I agree, but like,
yeah,
I hope that people will agree with too, and I think in the past years, that's what I've been told the most. Like, this is cool because, and I repeat this over and over again, but even on like a band or a night that's just four bands or three bands, a regular night, regular show, I don't want to see the same band over and over again. Not that, every band in a genre sounds the same, but it's just the pace usually, like if it's hardcore, it's pretty fast and aggressive the whole time. Or, just if it's thrash, it's pretty fast and aggressive all the time. Or if it would be doom all the time, like there are doom fests and I love them, but like I need a break sometimes, it just to break it up. So that's like the thing that a lot of people like about it, and that, just the variety of people that come too, it's a really good thing for the community. And I just hope I can build it up and continue to build it up.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I started this channel about 9 months ago, and I've been a metalhead since I was a little kid. I'm born and raised in the area. I left for a while and came back, and a lot of these bands I didn't discover until, especially the local and regional bands, I didn't
Hmm.
discover because they're sometimes so underground and so
Hmm.
niche. So it's really nice that like a lot of people can come in, see what Pittsburgh has to offer, see what the Pittsburgh music scene's all about, and it's so vibrant and we're so talented. And I'm so appreciative that A, that you're even talking to me about this, and B, you've even invited me to come. I wanted to come last year. I was in a really bad car accident. My kids are bummed out that they can't come this year because since started to listen to this, they're huge fans now of Slow Wake and Blessed Black and Fairy
Nice.
Ring. So my daughters are bummed they have ballet. But I wanted to tell people too, because you said it's going to be a long day. There's going to be food and stuff there too. And especially
Yes.
for people like me, I'm a vegetarian. So
Well, I'm vegan, and
awesome.
you're in luck because Onion Maiden is vending. Onion Maiden is a vegan restaurant in that area of Allentown, but the owners, Dingo and Brooks, also are part owners of the Shred Shed.
Oh, okay.
They're not all there. They're not there for every show, but like if you ask kindly and you think you're going to have a big enough crowd, they'll be there. And it's been terrific for vegans in the area because it's metal themed too.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know all of the names or whatever, but it's not like going to be a huge menu, just very easy food, but vegan, but delicious. So if you're not vegan, you're still going to enjoy it,
Yeah.
She usually brings like Dingo will be there, I believe. I'm not sure. It might be Brooks, who knows? But they usually have like nachos and hot dogs, and sometimes they have desserts that they cook from start to scratch. And they have fun names, so it's kind of cool. You'll see some of the band's names that you recognize with their order. It's just kind of fun. Nice little theme to it. They'll also have a bar there. Where we will be presenting the Descendants of Crom beer this year from Burgers Brewing Company.
Okay.
I worked with them on Descendants of Crom 4 at Cativo, and we brewed the beer there for that year, and it was pretty delicious. So I'm looking forward to that. That's also vegan. Still good. It's just
Awesome.
there's not, products in there. That's all.
Sure, sure.
Um, so we have that, and we'll have themed drinks too. I don't know what they are. Dingo and Brooks are going to take care of it. We've done that in the past, like had a red Sonia shot or something like that, those types of things for people who are familiar with the Crom Conan type of, the whole comic story type background or just the movies even. So we got that going. And then also we'll have Cupcake Pittsburgh, which is my friend Amanda. She makes everything from scratch, beautiful, very cool things. And it's all themed with skulls and heavy metal too. She
Oh,
actually names things after the bands that are playing that she likes. And she usually like, because she's my friend, would like do whatever I like, just so she knows, you know. But she also has vegan stuff, gluten-free stuff, and then just, you know, regular baked goods. Sometimes she has things like you know, different breads, different, it's not all just sweet stuff. So we'll have that. And then it's in a walkable area if you want something else or you need to stretch your legs, you know. So
sure, but I did happen to catch the Onion Maiden. I did attend a Whorehound show when Temple of the Fuzzwitch and Lost Psychonaut opened up for you guys.
nice.
And the Onion Maiden did cater that, and I had a hot dog with some, I think, like some sort of nacho cheese, but it was vegan, and it was
Hmm.
delicious.
Probably cashew.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if it was like almond or, but I think it was cashew that you mentioned it. It's absolutely delicious. So
Hmm.
I was very happy when I saw like I'll be there the whole day. There's food options, there's drink options for me. You know, I'm sure you know as a vegan, and it's really hard to find options sometimes, and
Right.
especially at metal shows. So
Yeah.
really awesome that you went the extra mile to, you know, make it inclusive for everybody.
Hmm. Well, also, the other two owners of the Shred Shed, Matt and Mary, they're like a they're very well known in the metal scene. They've been in tons of bands and they've, you know, just kind of pillars, really. They everybody is vegan.
Oh, okay.
Um, like so I'm vegan, they're vegan. Why not kind of keep it in that, you know, and it's just respectful to their building, you know. You know, that's just
Yeah.
whatever. But happens to be it's a lot of the people I know work with that stuff. So, you know.
And it's good though,
Um,
at least. I mean, like it's one thing to have like, you know, just food for a certain, you know, dietary option like myself, and it just be like, you know, just food. But Onion Maiden stuff, I can't say how good it really is.
it really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it's wild what she creates. Like I especially every once in a while I get the cream cheese there for like bagels or something at home.
Okay.
And I've had like vegan cream cheese from the store or whatever. It's just it's extra special or something. I don't know. It's extra good. There's you could taste the love in it or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. And I'm just glad to be associated with everybody, you know, that I'm working with as well.
Yeah, and I'm just amazed you can pull all this off between the bands and everybody. I've interviewed a lot of bands since I started. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but maybe like 5 or 10 bands. And I think out of those 10 bands, 7 of them knew you, and they were like, "Shy is one of the hardest working women in the metal scene. She's great. Make sure you get in touch with her." And so I'm glad that I'm able to help you out. And anything you need from me, I'll be there to help you on Friday and Saturday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
thank you. And thank you for spreading the word of Crom.
Thank you for having me on. I know your schedule, especially so close to the festival, has to be chaotic or psychotic, even. And thank you for squeezing me in. I feel like a bear to keep bugging you, but you know, I just want to
No,
get the
no,
word out. Yeah,
actually, thank you. It's,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, if it isn't for people like you, I couldn't do this. I could do it, but it wouldn't be as known or whatever, you know. We all
sure.
have our circles. You happen to know a lot of people or spoken to a lot of people that know me, but also there's a ton of people in Pittsburgh and the heavy scene that don't know me, you know,
Yeah,
don't know about Descendants of Crom, don't know some of these bands that are playing, and I would love for them to come out. I try to keep it relatively uh, inexpensive. You know,
say
it
it's
and
very cheap.
everything pretty much goes to the bands. So it's that type of thing. You know, it's a labor of love, and I think the bands that play it pretty much have that same work ethic that I do. You know, it's not I'm not out here alone, but I just, you know, I'm a lifer, I guess, and you know, it's very important to me that the underground music has a voice because it's just so good. It's just so good to waste. And these people that are in the underground are doing this, accepting the fact that they're never, you know, not never. Some of them do really, really well, but it's hard to make money.
Sure.
Uh, Almost nobody does. You know, by the time you know, if you're in a band, you have all of these expenses like you know, practice space, your gear and everything. It's like, you know, you're just basically getting a cash for gas if you're on the road or something like that. But like it's a costly thing to be in these bands, you know. So somebody needs to present them, you know. And there are I'm not the only one, right? But like there are other people in other cities that I know. Actually, Dan Simone from Slow Wake just did his first festival last year. I believe it's first festival, but it was the Ohio Doomed and Stone. I think he was going to do it one year, and it was um the pandemic, or maybe he did pull it off. I can't remember. But like, there all these other people are very hands-on, and the network is, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of thing. So you book bands and like it helps you out because you then can go to different cities and then reach out to those bands and say, hey, can you set me up with a show, or can you give me information, or can you point me in the right direction? And it seems like everybody in like the doom, stoner, psych rock, and even like the heavier bands that I deal with, like a little bit more on the extreme or death metal side, they're just very willing to help because they know what you've done for them, or vice versa, or they know you're going to help them, that type of thing.
Right, and that's where I wanted to just. I love music. There's nothing more in my life. I couldn't live without it, and so like that's where I started this like 9 months ago. I was like, I just want to help and like help bring bands to be noticed because it's like I get a really good feeling when you tell your best friend, hey, check this out, and they love it. So
Mhm.
that's I think the bands need that sort of service, and I think that I read all the time on social media that there's no good music out there. And then I look at even just our underground in Pittsburgh, we're like oozing and just seeping great bands, and they need to be shown. So people like you are the whole reason this scene still exists, and it's just great to be a part of it. And I'm really excited to help out, and anything I can do to, add to it, let's do it,
Thanks for saying so.
Yeah. So I don't want to take up too much of your time.